Hi, welcome to the Standout Stars Week of Gratitude and Kindness Summit. I'm Brenda Pierce, and this is an amazing summit series and gift giveaway. And as a guest host, I'm privileged to interview today one of the contributing authors and my book partner in the Secret Child Life After Loss book. And today we're sharing it all: spirituality, authorship, friendship, kindness, and gratitude. So welcome to the show, Dr. Sue.
Hi, Brenda. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
It's a privilege to have you, and I'm doing great. I know you are just wrapping up a very busy day in the clinic and making time to be here with us. So I would love for you to tell a little bit of the story about how we met and why this book came to be.
How we met was we were both part of another book series, and somebody had a wild idea of saying, hey, we need to meet in person. So we decided to we ended up in Nantucket. So we all had to fly into Boston, and one by one we collected the people that were riding down in the big SUV. And yeah, there was a lot of luggage and everything. I think there were 7 of us. And you and I, we chose the very back seat. Even though we had luggage, we were actually found leg room because we both have long legs. So that's the way we met, because of our long legs, actually. When we kind of talked over the luggage. We kind of pushed the luggage down and sat up real straight and everything. And we started talking. And before you knew it, the trip down to the launch pad where we had to catch the ferry and everything, we were soon best of friends. And we knew that we had known each other before, and we knew that we were just refriending one another in this time and place. So it's just been, you and I have just been heart-centered people and best friends, and wow, no other better words.
We bounced a lot of ideas and things off of each other, and we've stuck to each other through thick and thin. And, and it's been a privilege to be your friend and to, to befriend each other and be kindred spirits together. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. And we found out that we had the common interest that we both had secret children. And so we let that lay a little bit because we were really busy with different projects, you and I, individually and collectively. And just about 5 years ago, we knew this book needed to be written. And we brought it up and we said, we need to. We had a title. We had a title long before we had the book. And we had the concept long before we had the book. And we would just every now and then throw an idea, a Post-it note to one another for when we do the book. And I still haven't found my file that's got all the Post-it notes, but that's neither here nor there. It just materialized. And we knew within the last year that this was the time. It was the time and it was the place, and we all needed to be part of this beautiful book. And so we knew that we needed contributors. We wanted to help others share their stories of their secret children. And so that's how the Secret Child was born.
Yes, and along the way, we picked up the parents who were willing to share from their heart. And one of them, who was with our first book project, Connie Batzel, somewhere along the line, she joined the club. And I remember the day you said, I think Connie joined the club. And it was like, oh my, it's the club nobody wants to belong to, but it collectively has become the club that we belong to in the family of the book. And the right people have shown up with the right stories and the legacy and love that they wanted to share to give more life to their children, but also to help us as grieving parents going through the journey to support each other in a new and magnificent way through the family of the book.
And this is actually what you said is so true right there, is we are family. And as family, we can turn to one another. We have made such amazing, in addition to Connie, we have made so many friends throughout this journey of the book. And I continue to make friends for the journey. I have other parents that have heard about the books, and as have you, and starting to collect stories for the next in the series, the next book in the series.
That's right. And that was our intention when we started the first volume, was that we knew this was going to be a series, because the number of stories out there is immeasurable. It really is. And the lives that we can touch can only be expanded upon, right?
Right. And you and I have talked about the different books from the series that might have a place in it. Like you and I have both agreed that we would really love to call forth the fathers and to say, Dads, tell us your story. Tell us how you coped with this. Tell us how you've grown from this. We really want to know. And we've talked about grandparents, and we've even thrown out the concept of, what, wouldn't it be interesting to find couples and hear both of their stories just to see how they have coped in their relationship and the effects that it's had. So it's just boundless. There's no.
And siblings too, right? Because siblings need to have a voice too in their grief.
Well, and you and I also have talked about the fact that when you lose a child, okay, when you lose your husband, you are a widow or a widower. When you lose your parents, you're an orphan. But what title does society give you when you lose your child?
Yeah, there isn't one.
No. And
no
that is,
describe it.
Yeah, there's no word for it.
No. And that is so true. So this is when words escape the description, that's when words can help you heal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And our children never meant to hurt us. But I think they collectively wanted to help us grow as people.
Yeah.
And we need to show the world that they did exist, that they were very important, no matter how long or short they were on this earthly plane. Some parents never even got to hold their babies.
Yeah.
As myself, others had their child with them and then lost their child. There's no right way to lose a child. There's no wrong way to lose a child. But you know what? It's all hurt and it's all pain. But there can be this legacy that we have taken all this hurt, all this pain, all this disbelief, and have been able to compile this amazing book into stories of love, stories of a legacy, stories of purpose, and stories that just help other people. It's so far reaching. Our experiences are reaching so many lives, so many, many lives.
Yes. And the focus that we take on this is looking for the legacy, because we are their breath, we are their heartbeat. We are able to continue their journey here on this earth plane while they're guiding us from above, from the ethers and or whatever it is you want to call it. But there is such a kinship. And when we get beyond the pain, the insurmountable pain that can swallow us up and suck us dry, when we realize that we can journey through this and be whole and still laugh and be happy and be a part of society and still nourish and love our other children, and or even go on to have other children, it does not denigrate the value of the child that has been lost.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, the thing is, we've been living this journey for so long, Sue, and putting this book together, and we've learned so much together. We've shared so much together, and I think because our children were secret in our heart for so long, that once we open the floodgates to bring other parents in, to make this book happen, and really bring it to the light, that's when things really changed in our own experience of grief and grieving as well, didn't it?
It took it to a deeper level. It really did. And somehow it was a balm. Somehow it made it okay that we have a secret child. Each of us has a secret child. Somehow it was like, aha, that's why. And once we got the that's why, because that's something that you always wonder when you lose a child. But once we got that, okay, I get it now. That's part of the reason. That's part of the universal reason as to why our child is, is on the other side, is that this did happen. And you can't see when it happens what greater things are in store for you.
No.
You have no idea because, as you say, we can't look beyond that veil of grief, that beyond that veil of sorrow. And it's only, we talk about, we have plain sight, plain vision. We talk about our hindsight, which is always 2020. And then we have foresight, which we can kind of see ahead as to why it is. But when we talk about the foresights that we have, this just illustrates it so perfectly. The final sight is insight. And this is giving us so much insight as to why we went through this. For nothing else, to be there for others.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And creating a new sense of community, because you can't go this alone. And if you do, it's too painful, it's too lonely. And, and so it brings out the best in other people. And sometimes we feel it brings out the worst in other people. Some relationships can't stand the strain or pain of separation, of loss. And yet for others, they can, if your cup is full enough inside of you, then you can find the strength to endure whatever it is that comes your way. So it really is a test of personal strength and courage to go through grief.
Right. And to maintain, as you say, to maintain a relationship, because if you're in a partnered relationship, both partners, they grieve so differently.
They do.
And it can be perceived as uncaring by one partner and not letting go by the other partner.
That's right.
So it takes a very, very strong connection with your partner and with everyone around you to be able to move through it together.
That's right. Exactly. And there's no rights or wrongs to grief and grieving and this journey. And we have to believe that everything is divinely timed and blessed.
Kind of like you do you, I'll do me, but it's still the same thing. It just has a different kind of hat on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And so the process of putting a book together it depends on what the topic is, and how passionate you are about the topic too can make a difference in terms of the success of the project or not, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're going to put the book together, everybody, you better be prepared to learn a lot. Yes. And you better be prepared to have a baptism by fire, because it's going to happen that way. You think that you have it all set, and it's like, oh, no, that's not it. This isn't it. Even down to things that you and I never discussed in the very beginning, putting it on Kindle. Brenda, you've taken the lead on that, and that has been amazing. You've given me the tasks such as getting the ISBN. I never knew how to do that. I'm learning. Yeah. Or copywriting. Copyright, yeah. Which, I need to put in here. It was so important to you and I to have this book copyrighted. And it isn't for us. It is because we so cherish and care about those that contributed and their story, that we don't want anybody taking that story for their own. It's very private, it's very personal. So that's what drove me to get all of the copyright stuff that I didn't understand done. Like, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's not about this book. It was never about that. It was about our contributors and our children.
Absolutely. And so it's some of the things, anybody can put something up on Kindle and but it's all about making sure that your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, and that you really are protecting your intellectual rights.
Absolutely. So as I say, this has been such a process, and it's learning too. We talk about learning as I've learned so many different ways of coping from these parents and what they've done and their story, that I sometimes, it was hard reading, as you know, it was hard reading the stories. It was hard doing the drafts and stuff and going over it and over and over to try and make sure that everything was great in it. And each time it never really lessened the depth of the parent's pain, you know?
No.
But it also made me have a greater appreciation for everybody who was in this book. And you think that you have it bad, but you read something and you think, oh my gracious, your first instinct is to say, I don't know if I could do that.
No.
But you do it. They might look at our stories and say, wow, I don't know how they did that one either. But here we are.
And it's a good thing we don't have to walk in another person's shoes.
Oh, we would choose our own. We would say, I want my shoes back.
Absolutely.
We really, really
So
would.
in terms of kindness and gratitude, what is your take on this book project and the element of kindness?
I think the kindness that has been extended to everybody and among everybody is phenomenal. It's a gentleness. It's maybe another word for it would be gentleness. Kindness is a word, but also is gentleness. And with the kindness and the gentleness comes a mutual respect. So it is just a boiling down to just allowing people and being kind and supporting. Because I don't have any other words for it, because I'm very grateful for all the kindness that's been extended. And, you know, it costs nothing to be kind.
That's true.
And I've always said that. So why not be kind? It's much easier. You know, it's just a better high energy feeling. And to be on this summit is surreal. It really is. I mean, we are growing. Brenda, you and I are growing beyond what we ever thought we could. You know, we have the kindness, or the book that we're ready to put out again to relaunch. And you and I have just both recently completed the RTT training, that clinical hypnotherapist training, and that in of itself is going to really help people move beyond where they're stuck in life. And it's just so put together. It's just so married what we have going on in our lives. It's exciting. It's exciting.
It is exciting. And the gratitude that we have towards Standout Stars for allowing us to have this space and place to be able to be on the summit and share all this amazing information and the stories and the gratitude from each of the participants has been overwhelmingly positive.
How could it be anything else but? My gracious, this is just, you know, beyond belief.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I think that it's really great too that being on this summit and being on interviews and stuff like that, it's helping people reach beyond their comfort zone. Many of the parents in this book are really reaching beyond their comfort zone. And I'd like to say to each and every one of them, thank you. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for holding on to the hand that's been extended to you and say, okay, if you say I should do this, I will do it. And just, you know, thank you for being in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of love here in this book, between the pages, the covers of the book, and amongst each of the members. We are now indelibly family, aren't we?
We totally are. We totally are. And I can foresee too, as we go on with other books in the series, that they will join. They will join the family, and it will just be generations of kindness, generations of love, generations of stories.
And the ripple effect just goes on and on. And yeah, we're eternally grateful for that. And, you know, and yes.
I'd like to ask one thing. If you're watching this interview, please connect with Brenda and I if you would like to share your story. But most of all, if you know of a place that might need a copy of our book, please let us know so we can connect with them to share this with them.
That's excellent. And also too, if you need some help with journeying through your life journey, Dr. Sue and I are both licensed RTT practitioners, rapid transformational therapists, and we are here to help, whether it be addictions, grief, anxiety, PTSD, whatever it is that is afflicting you, and you would like to meet with either one of us, we're here to help, which is such a beautiful partnership in itself.
Yep, it is.
So what we'd love you to do is the contributors of this book have all come together and create a family group page, and it's filled with free offers and master classes and connections to each and every one of us. And so if you are looking to fill your cup from one family of contributors to the summit, go to www.thesecretchildbookseries.com/WOK. And you can go there, you can check out the book and so much more. So for standout stars, this is Brenda Pierce fading into the background, and Dr. Sue Denk. And we're filled with kindness and gratitude and much love for each and every one of you who watched this. Bye for now.
Bye.